Hi, I'm Nikki, the Finicky Foodie, and today we are going to make sous vide egg bites. If you've been to Starbucks and you've had their sous vide egg bites, that is exactly why I bought the Pampered Chef multi-cooker, because it has the sous vide function and we are absolutely obsessed with the egg bites. You can make these as healthy or unhealthy as you would like. Today we're going to make a slightly unhealthy version because my daughter really likes the bacon and cheese. Later on I'm going to make a second batch with vegetables without the bacon and extra cheese. So first I'm going to talk to you about how to use the multi-cooker and how to set up the sous vide function, and then I am going to walk you through the egg recipe. Okay, so first thing, this is the sous vide egg bite mold. You can buy this separately, or if you buy the whole set, it does come with it. So it's really three parts. It's the mold, which you can use for other things, the lid, and the trivet, stand, rack, whatever you want to call it. Okay, we're going to use that in a little bit. The multi-cooker, this is the lid. It's got two different holes to hold the lid so that you can rest depending on what side you're accessing it from. This is the inner pot, which I currently have filled with 7 cups of water. That is the amount that we need specifically to use the egg bite mold. And then this is the front with the controls. So this needs time to come up to temperature for the water bath. So sous vide is a method of cooking in a slow, low temperature water bath. Think of it as a slow cooker, but with water. The really nice thing about sous vide cooking is it keeps the food really nice and moist without all this extra added fat. So I'm going to close the lid and walk you through how to get it up to temperature. Okay, so we are plugged in, the lid is on, I'm turning it on, there's a button in the back. Okay, let me move this out of the way so I can see. So we're going to use the dial and turn it to sous vide, which is almost at the bottom of the list on the other side. I went in reverse, which got me there much quicker. So I'm going to hit OK. And it is still set from the last time that I made the sous vide eggs. So we want the water to come up to 172 degrees, which is already there. So I'm going to confirm it. And the eggs cook for an hour and a half. And that's, again, already set because it was the last setting I used. So I'm going to confirm it. Oh, and now I hold the button in to press start. The quick button, pressing it quickly confirms, holding it in is the start. So you'll see it's beeping to let me know it's starting, and it says run. So it is in preheat mode right now, and the dial at the bottom is preheat. The instruction book will let you know that it is ready when it beeps 3 times and it says add instead of run. This little thing right here is the valve to release pressure. As the water is heating up, the machine will beep 3 times as a warning before it relieves pressure. So don't get confused like I did the first time. If you don't see add and you're hearing beeps, it's not done preheating. It's just releasing some pressure. So this is going to take about a half an hour to come to temperature. Like I said, this is a slow cooking process. So I'm going to walk you through the recipe while this preheats, do a couple other things, and then we'll come back when it's all done and really delicious and ready to eat. So I'm going to move this out of the way again. The recipe that Pampered Chef has calls for 7 eggs. I am using 5. I think I end up needing a little bit less because, sorry, not 7 eggs, they call for 6. I'm using 5 because of the amount of mix-ins I put in. I just don't have enough space for all that egg. So I'm using 5 eggs, and that will fill up 7 wells. These are whole eggs I just cracked. I am putting them in the blender because it'll make everything else chopped up really nicely, and it's because of what I'm putting in it. You don't have to though. You can whisk it, stir it, however you want to. I prefer it, and my daughter prefers it in the blender so that the flavors are more evenly dispersed because you get little tiny pieces. So we've got 5 eggs, and so the base recipe is the egg and the cottage cheese. So we have low-fat cottage cheese I have from Trader Joe's. The recipe calls for 1/3 of a cup. You can measure it out or you can eyeball it. When it comes to cooking, I tend to eyeball things pretty frequently. So that is about 1/4 of a cup. We're gonna add just a little bit more. should be about 1/3 of a cup. We're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper that I forgot to grab earlier. Even though I'm adding cheese to this and bacon, we still need a little bit of salt because it is a lot of eggs, so it needs some flavor. Some pepper. You can season your eggs however you like. Okay, so that is the base. So now I'm gonna add bacon. We already cooked it. I like to cook it in the oven. You put it on a wire wrap on top of a baking sheet. I lost my spoon, so I'm just gonna use my hands. I am not putting all of this bacon in. It is way too much. It really comes out to be about 1, maybe 2 strips of bacon worth that go in here, which is nice because you're getting 7 egg whites. Okay, and then we are going to add our cheese. I happen to have sharp cheddar Jack blend, I think from Sargento, instead of a regular Colby Jack blend. It's got a nice little bite to it with the sharp cheddar. Like I said, you can make this recipe as healthy or unhealthy as you like. I am going to make a veggie version after this, and I'm going to use the same water that's in there already. So I'm going to blend this up for about maybe 30 seconds, and then we'll be ready to pour it into the mold. Okay, I'm back. I blended this. It really only took about 15 seconds. You are supposed to lightly brush the insides of the molds with oil to prevent sticking, but it is silicone. I forgot to put the oil on last time and it was fine. They popped right out. So I'm gonna skip that step this time. So I am just going to pour the egg mixture into the molds. You wanna be careful to not fill it up all the way because they will rise a little bit. I might have overfilled that first one. And then we are just going to wait for the machine, oop, went too much on that one, to come to temperature, and then we'll pop this in and it'll cook in about, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a spoon and even this out a little bit. This was the perfect amount of mixture. Okay, so I did use a spoon just to even them out because I overfilled about 2 of them, but now they are all roughly even. They're not filled all the way. The instructions tell you to fill them about 2/3 of the way, and that's before you add in the toppings. But since I do the toppings in the blender, I'd say it's maybe 3/4 of the way filled. So I'm gonna put the lid on. The lid does not snap closed. It just sits kind of securely. So you're not looking for any kind of like snapping sound or locking feeling or anything like that. You just wanna make sure that it's flat and on all the way around. When you put this in the water bath, the water does not cover it. It comes just to about the bottom of the lip so that the mixture is in the water, but it's not going to get into the container. So at this point, we're just waiting for this to come up to temperature. And then I'll be opening up the lid, gently placing this in, and then hitting the start button again, and then wait an hour and a half for it to be done. And that is it. We will have a nice, tasty treat in a little bit. See you soon. Okay, I'm back. The preheat did finish. The beep is different than the vent beep, so it is a distinct sound, and you can see it said to add. So I'm going to unlock and open. Strain a little bit of the water in there. And since this is full of egg, I'm going to try and keep it level and just carefully place it in. Remember that the water does not cover it, so it's not going to submerge. And that's it. I'm going to close it up. And hold it in to hit start. Push it once, not hold it in. So you can see it is now counting down and the bottom indicator says cook. So I'll see you when it's done in an hour and a half. Hi, I'm back. They're done. I am starving. I cannot wait to eat them. You can see it says end. So I'm gonna hit the cancel button, open it up. Now remember, this is hot. Take care of your hands. Okay. Right, I'm going to carefully take the lid off. And I am going to flip them on the plate, pop them out. Okay. Well, I guess we should have put the oil on this time. I got lucky with it last time. There we go. Oh my God, they smell so good. They did come out easier when I oiled them the first time. Oh my God, I am so hungry. Okay, so I have to say, compared to the last couple times I did this, this was somewhat of a failure because I opted to skip the oiling of the pan, but we still have some very pretty ones in here, and oh my God, they smell good. So I'm gonna eat the broken ones first because they're cooling down quickly. So good. I'm gonna eat about 3 of these for dinner.